This is Gus Summers of theINshow, and thanks for tuning in once again. And remember, don't forget to visit us every Thursday from 1 to 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, where I host theINshow with my co-host, Miss Margaret Mitchum. And look for us on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, LinkedIn, Pinterest, Flickr, Instagram, all those great social media sites. And now, here is part one of our interview with Michael David Lynch, writer, director, and editor of Dependence Day. Hey, Mike, I appreciate you taking the time.
No, I appreciate you for having us on. We're excited to spread the word, and thanks for helping us get the word out about Dependence Day.
Absolutely. Well, one of the things that really stood out for me was how kind of true to life it was. Joe Burke's character, he seemed to be exactly how you would think of as an actor in L.A. So how close of an autobiography is this?
Well, I'm not an actor myself, so I'll say that what it is it's a blend of actors that I had met out here in L.A. with obviously some of the things that I've seen on Facebook of society and the changing and shifting of gender roles and then obviously some of my own stuff. I have a very strong wife who's a very powerful woman, and she's got a great career. So I'd say it's a blend. It's a blend of things, but the most important thing, like you said yourself, was I wanted it to be authentic and real. I didn't want anything to be fake. I didn't want to be making fun of characters. I wanted it to all come from that truthful,
That's exactly what stood out for me. One of the things you said was a role reversal. And I think you capture that for this modern time, because here you have, a young couple, and he's pursuing his passion, we'll say, and she's pursuing more of a sensible career. I think you capture that wonderfully.
It was very important to me that, also both characters have their full arcs. Because, when you watch the full film, they both have their arcs. And I think, like any movie, if it was just about Cam, Joe Burke's character, it wouldn't be as strong if Alice, played by Benita Robledo, wasn't so good. And I think that's why, for me too, I grew up with my mom was a strong woman, and I know a lot of women that have been very powerful and grown up, and in films and society we don't get to see that a lot in the mainstream media. Which is why I wanted to put my take on it. So for me, it was just handled with a lot of care, and I didn't have to look far because there's so many amazing women around. So I wanted to put on film what I'm seeing in real life that I'm seeing our media hasn't been putting up.
Yeah, absolutely. It's one of the things that stood out.
It was too hard.
Right.
My wife is a very blunt person who's also an executive producer in the film, so she's also a great reference point for bounce off ideas off us.
Yeah, I understand, right. Because one of the things that stood out for me in the relationship, and you actually pointed it out, was their relationship status. They were single, and there was a scene where they were with their married friends, and he kept saying, well, it's different when you're married. It's different, when you're in a committed relationship like that. Was it purposeful for you to keep them as a non-married couple?
Yeah, because I remember me and my wife were together for about, 8 years before we finally got married, and I remembered how people treated us differently, the fact that we didn't have kids, and the fact that we weren't married. And I feel a lot of couples can relate to that if you're in love with someone and maybe you're not married yet, and maybe it's for all kinds of different reasons, or maybe you don't believe in the way society should say that you get married. So I felt, and again, a lot of those feelings, I think, a lot of, that's autobiographical to me, 100%, of me feeling like people devalue a relationship that doesn't meet their expectations. And I felt that was a big part of what this film was trying to do, was absolutely, like any good comedian, call out the things that we all feel, but that aren't often, actually addressed. And then when you get to see someone else addressed, you're like, man, that's my life. I feel that, or I've been that. And I've had so many women, we had a lot of test screenings, who are like, wow, I've been in that relationship. That guy is trying to do something, he's just sitting at home playing games, not getting his career together, and I'm running the ship. And again, on Facebook, I would just see a lot of stay-at-home dads because their ladies were having, were making better money, and it was a more sensible idea for them to stay home. So, yeah.
Because I love how you kind of hovered around the idea when they're sitting, I think, in the park or somewhere, somewhere outside, and they and it was about the marriage proposal, and she's asking him, "Are you asking to marry me, or is that a proposal?" I loved how that was part of the whole thing.
Yeah, no, we wanted to touch on it. We wanted to touch on it because it's something that's talked about a lot. You know, when you're in a couple and you're getting older, people are always talking about marriage and they're always talking about babies. And those are real hot topics. You know, that depending on how couples feel, they can be really sensitive issues. So I thought it was really important to touch on those issues that couples deal with every day.
Absolutely. Watching the whole film, what I love that their relationship, what they settled on is that it worked for them. This is what, they are deciding to do together and trying to figure it out. Because you have that whole scene where the other couple is talking about counseling and what have you. And I love the fact that they just get up and go, yeah, okay, yeah, thanks, we'll see you later. And that they just want to be able to work out their own relationship in their own way. I really like that.
I'm really glad you pointed that out. I felt that's one of my favorite scenes in the film as well. I think too often in life, especially, this is modified in high school. In high school, I felt really hyper where I remember in high school, certain friends wouldn't date a girl unless their friends approved. And as you see in the film, there's times where literally Alice's friend is telling her, hand me your vacation, and she parrots that. Too often I feel that we're trying to live up to other people's expectations instead of listening to our own heart and what we need and what we want. And that's Alice's art. That's Cam's art is, having to pull his stuff together. But for Alice, it's her finally saying, I'm not going to listen to them anymore. And if I'm happy, that's all that matters. I don't need someone else to tell me what should make me happy. And I feel that's a big theme of the film. It's to really listen to your heart and what you want and not allow other people to try to tell you what should make you happy, because how can they know what's going to make you happy? And too often I think people are not able to find their happiness because they're looking to other people to tell them what should make them happy, and that's not going to work. So that was a very big beat for me, and I'm glad you caught that.
Yeah, because it really stood out for me. Because, one of the things I look for in movies are, the character. That's what drives me. I like to see what's their motivation, where are they heading to. And, for them, that was, big. And, when we were talking about Joe Burke, his life, and like I had described it, it was like a actor's life. So, of course he's going to be all over the place. So, seeing him be a clown and then seeing him, having to get the job at the bar, that seems, par for the course for an actor's life. Did you mean it to be so random, or was it kind of just, this is the actor's life and this is what I have to do to follow my dream?
I wanted to do a couple things, even though the movie is about the fact that he's an actor. I did want to make it very accurate to that, but I also wanted to make it as relatable as possible. Back in Michigan, I used to wait tables and work at a bar, and I do know some actors out here that are nannies or have to babysit, and I know a couple of people, even some directors or producers and actors who had to be clowns to make money. I wanted to do a lot of jobs that are actually, like you said, accurate to the actor's lifestyle, but also like anywhere in America, you can get a job as a busboy or working at a bar. So I want, or babysitting. So I did want to have stuff that everyone can relate to, because at the end of the day, Cam's a dreamer, right? And Alex is a realist. And Cam has a dream of wanting to do something. And I think whether it's a dream of wanting to be an astronaut, a dream of wanting to be a professional athlete, a dream of being an actor, a dream of, whatever your dream is. And that was my biggest focus. But sometimes what I think people don't understand is if you want to dream, you got to do the hard work first. And I think that's the big part too of what we were, I think, trying to capture by having these hard jobs is a lot of people think too making movies easy with all red carpets, when the red carpet is like 1% of it. 99% of it's pushing a boulder up a hill, and sometimes it rolls down on you and you keep pushing it up the hill.
That's right.
I thought it was really important to show Cam doing jobs that weren't related to what he wanted to do, that were hard work and humbling, because I feel that's real life.
And that was part one of our interview with Michael David Lynch. Be sure to check out part two. I'm Gus Summers of theINshow. Thanks for tuning in once again, and be sure to visit us at theINshow.com for all our latest news and updates. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, Gus has left the building.